We have more now on a breaking news story on what's become a core issue in this campaign, which is, of course, U.S. President Donald Trump, the trade war, and his plans to make Canada a 51st state. Trump is speaking in a newly released interview with Time magazine. Richard Madden joins us now from Washington with more on this. So, Richard, what is the president saying to Time magazine about Canada?
Well, this is all of a feature by Time magazine ahead of Trump's first 100 days in office. And among many topics he was also asked specifically if his plan to annex Greenland, control the Panama Canal, and make the 51st state was a bit of trolling or not. I think we can bring up some of the transcripts from this article right now. So one of the questions here he's asked, controlling the Panama Canal, making Canada the 51st state. Was that a bit of trolling? You've asked about all this, and Trump says, actually, no, I'm not trolling, but Canada is an interesting case. And then it goes on to say, well, how do you want to grow the American empire? Trump goes on to say, well, it depends. As an empire, these are not things that we've had before, so I'd view it a little bit differently if we had the right opportunity. Yeah, I think Greenland would be very well off if I think it's important for us to have national security and even international security. I think Canada, what you said with that one, I might be trolling, but I'm really not trolling. Canada is an interesting case. He goes on to say we lose $200 billion to $250 billion a year supporting Canada. Of course, those are false numbers. He's talking about a trade deficit. And he starts talking about Governor Trudeau. He says, why? Why do you think we're losing so much money supporting you? Do you think that's right? Do you think that's appropriate for another country to make it possible, for a country to sustain? And he was unable to give me an answer, but it costs us over $200 billion a year to take care of Canada. False numbers, I should add again. Trump goes on to say we're taking care of their military, we're taking care of their every aspect of their lives, and we don't need them to make cars for us. In fact, we don't want them to make cars for us. Trump goes on to say we don't need their cars, we don't need their lumber, we don't need their energy. He continues to repeat what he said in the past, saying because of all this, the only thing that really works is for Canada to become a state. Now, there wasn't much pushback in this article, but it does note that right now, in his 3 months in office, Trump is at the peak of his power, and he's moving at breakneck speed to accomplish his campaign promises. His grip on the party notwithstanding, we are now seeing some signs of resistance, whether it's the economy, universities standing up to the president, and someone in his own party criticizing Trump's treatment of allies and the damage caused by his tariff agenda.
Okay, and that's just on Canada. So let's talk about the other things the president discussed during that interview.
Yeah, so the article, the magazine hasn't hit store shelves, so it's online right now. Time magazine put out the transcripts, but if you give it a read, this was mostly a wide, extensive analysis and profile of the president ahead of those 100-day in office mark. And it really talks about how Trump is rapidly reshaping government. It takes readers through it, whether it's through the DOGE effort, slashing government departments, to his tariff agenda, to his view of the world. It also gets into how Trump is expanding presidential power by attacking his adversaries, vilifying media, and transforming the system by stacking the deck in his favor. A lot of colorful anecdotes as well. Trump describing the United States as a giant department store, saying all other countries are invited to shop, but he sets what they pay, and if they don't like it, they can leave the store. It's also noteworthy how this article ended. The reporter describes how the president takes him into the study room just outside the Oval Office, showing him a full display of Trump-branded merchandise, golf shirts, books, towels, challenge coins. He ends it by saying, and I don't want to give it away here, but I'm going to do it anyways. It ends by saying, this may not be the traditional image of American presidential power, but it's his. And that's a fitting way to profile a president who won a second term and who's dramatically reshaping government in his image. Speaker Mike Johnson is in there saying his party is recognizing the grip that Trump has on the Republican Party, saying, his members of Congress realize that they all need to get on the train, not in front of it.
CBC's Richard Madden in Washington. Thank you, Richard.
You bet.